Exciting news, friends. Exciting news. I told you that we would be watching the Trump OAN interview. And we will. Just not right now. Sadly, it did not record correctly. And I don't know why. I don't know why, but it didn't work, so we can't watch it right now. So instead, well, we'll just talk. We'll watch some other stuff. There's all kinds of stuff happening today. A ceasefire declared between Israel and Palestine, which is very good news. OAN repeats itself every couple of hours, so we'll get a chance. They're going to be showing that again today, and I will record it. And I guess it works out because I was thinking, man, I never get to broadcast during the day anymore because all the stuff happens in the evening. And then our European friends never get to watch with us. So tomorrow we will watch the Trump interview because it'll be way too late for our East Coasters when it finally gets recorded and shown tonight. We will watch it tomorrow during the day, which will enable our East Coast friends to watch as well. And then tomorrow, I think we've got a Matt Gaetz rally thing to do as well. No, I did watch it live, the Trump interview. It's Trump. It'll be fun. But we won't do that right now. Let's check out some other stuff that happened today. Let's just see what's happening in the world of OAN. My computer did record some of OAN. Not the part that it was supposed to. I don't know why. I do not know why. Probably something I did. Most likely. Cindy, you're on time, but we don't have the interview we were going to watch, but we have other stuff to watch. So let's just see what's happening in the world of OAN and see if you can suss out the logic that they use on a regular basis. How's my volume, guys? How's the audio doing? My mic looks like it's a little bit low. That's been happening the last couple of days. Nothing but technical difficulties at the Outhouse Studios. Here we go.
Words to their voting machines. Arizona Senate subpoenaed that information along with routers and full access to election machines.
They're talking about Dominion voting machines in Arizona in Maricopa County. That's the county that houses Phoenix, the largest county in Arizona.
Late last year, and were granted approval by a judge months ago. However, both the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors and Dominion have dragged their feet since then, attempting to stall the proceedings as long as possible. On May 13th, Dominion released a statement vowing to cooperate with the audit.
Yeah, and they've given passwords to access the data to Maricopa County Board of Elections officials. That's been done. Dominion has already done what the court said that it should do. It's been done. Now, handing any information over to cyber ninjas is maybe not the best idea. And there was nothing in the court case about cyber ninjas getting a hold of this information. There are companies in the United States that are certified by the FEC, the Federal Elections Commission, to actually do audits. Cyber Ninjas is not one of them. They've never done one before.
But that came with conditions.
Yeah.
Dominion said they wouldn't release their intellectual property to what they called an unaccredited, biased, and plainly unreliable actor.
That would be Cyber Ninjas. Yes, I can understand that. Really? You can barely hear me? Hi, Debbie. Good to see you. Debbie, there's a sharpener over on the table over there, and its name is Debbie, too. I don't know why the microphone is so quiet all of a sudden. Hold on, guys. I'm just gonna let you guys watch this, and you're gonna see me working on the microphone settings in the background.
Specifically calling out Cyber Ninjas, the firm that's been hired to conduct the audit. In fact, Cyber Ninjas has not been accredited by the U.S. Election Assistance Commission, though it does have a history of fulfilling cybersecurity contracts. Currently, there are just 2 companies accredited with the Election Assistance Commission, including a vendor called ProV&V. And according to them, Dominion has already handed over the passwords for its systems directly to the Maricopa Board of Election Employees. And those employees have logged into the equipment and provided auditors with complete system access. In fact, in the report by ProV&V, the vendor makes it clear that what it calls qualified Board of Elections employees have granted its own auditors access to the systems.
Okay. So what's the problem?
That means the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors are lying when they claim they don't have the passwords and cannot access the voting machines.
That is not what that means.
And of course, if they're lying, the obvious question is, why? What are they hiding? Pro-VNV President Jack Cobb says he believes the county only has access.
Notice the way that's written. If they're lying, well, they're not. Everything has been done that the court had ordered to be done. And it's been done. But for some reason, they're lying. But why? Because they're not?
Access to a super user password and not the system administrator password. Although it's slightly more limited than the full admin password, this super user password would still give auditors the access they need to the voting machines.
Okay. Then we're good, right? Yeah, Elon Musk is not going to give you his password to the Tesla. He's going to give you a password that lets you use the Tesla for what you have necessarily to do.
Further complicating the audit, now the Maricopa County Sheriff appears to be obstructing the investigation and is refusing to turn over the routers used in the election. Sheriff Paul Pinzone took it a step further than that and even claimed that the Senate's investigation and request for the routers, quote, jeopardizes the entire mission of the sheriff's office. Isn't the sheriff's job to uphold the law and
enforce the law? So I'm just going to turn him down. This is as high as my microphone wants to get right now. I'll have to deal with that later. Same issue last night, and I thought I had it solved, and I didn't.
The Senate?
I can't even record things on my computer anymore, so what do I know?
Lawfully obtain a subpoena for this equipment, which would mean the sheriff is breaking the law by not cooperating. But that's hardly surprising, since Sheriff Pinzone was installed back in 2016 with over $2 million in funding from none other than radical left-wing billionaire George Soros.
There it is. It's the Jews. It's the Jews, which is funny because 5 minutes ago they just ran a piece about how we have to support Israel 100% and that Biden's just not doing it and that Biden is having no effect whatsoever and this war will escalate and suddenly we'll have a calamity that involves the United States. They ran their 5 o'clock hour piece after the ceasefire had already been declared. But they didn't do anything to update the piece.
Himself. A Soros-funded group.
Sorry, Robert. Something happened bad with Robert. Sorry to hear that, Robert.
Dumped the money into Pinzone's campaign to defeat the popular conservative sheriff, Joe Arpaio.
Joe Arpaio, who was given a pardon by Trump after a judge sentenced him and a jury sentenced him because the judge kept saying, hey, Sheriff Arpaio, you got to stop being racist and doing really racist things. And he refused to cooperate with the judge's orders. You know, how law enforcement should go. He was pardoned by Trump.
Who had been chosen by the people of Arizona for 7 straight elections.
And then lost. Because he was found guilty of racism.
The donation was part of Soros's massive campaign in 2015 and 16 to defeat conservative local prosecutors and district attorneys and replace them with hard-left extremists who would do his bidding. Exactly like Sheriff Pinzone. Combined with Katie Hobbs, Arizona's radical leftist Secretary of State, who was also installed by Soros back.
That's it, by the way. It's all radical left-wing. Everything is radical left-wing. Even in Congress, even in the Senate, completely unrelated topic, always ends with radical left-wing Democrats, if a Republican is talking about it. John Thune, second in power in the, well, third technically in the Senate, he called out the radical left-wing Democrats. It's all radical left-wing, and it's all the squad controls the Democrats, and no matter what the Democrats do, it's because the squad says so. It's just complete nonsense, but that's the path that they're going to take. That's how they think they can scare the American people into voting out the Democrats in the midterms.
In 2018, it's pretty clear that Soros's henchmen are working overtime to control the outcome of the 2020 election.
The outcome of the 2020 election is already done. It has been done for months. By the way, those Soros's henchmen wearing the lavender shirts, those are counters for Cyber Ninja, the frauded company.
Which probably means that
Another Cyber Ninja employee.
If widespread fraud is found in Arizona, it could be the tipping point for overturning.
If, and it can't be the tipping point. It's been done. There is no constitutional remedy for what they're talking about.
All the other corrupt elections across the country, ultimately proving that President Trump is the rightful winner of the 2020 election.
No, there's no mechanism whatsoever to make that happen. The election has been certified on the county levels. The election has been certified on the state levels, all of them. 29 secretaries of state that are Republicans, 27 governors that are Republicans. All of them certified the election. Every single one, 100%. And then Congress certified the election, much to the dismay of President Trump, but that's how it works. And his vice president, Mike Pence, certified the count of the election. And that's that. There is no remedy here for President Trump. It's impossible.
For One America News, I'm Pearson Sharp.
I'm Pearson Sharp.
In the meantime, several mainstream media outlets are caught making false claims about the audit of the 2020 election.
Oh, good. Let's see what this is. This is about the legacy media. It's, CNN, MSNBC, the New York Times, the Washington Post, Fox News now, because this is OAN.
Arizona. Over the past few days, legacy media such as CNN, Associated Press, and the Washington Post claimed Arizona auditors backtracked on their findings that an election database had been deleted.
No election database was deleted. It was not deleted. It was clearly visible to the people who had to have access to the database.
However, Auditor Ben Cotton clarifying today he never backtracked and the database had indeed been deleted.
He couldn't find it, but it was there.
Cotton stressed his team have recovered files from that database, which were deleted from voting machines by Maricopa County election officials.
Oh, he recovered the data. Oh, but it was deleted, and then he got it back. Okay.
Arizona GOP leader Kelly Ward says the Democrat media is continuing to spread falsehoods to discredit the Arizona audit.
Their names are now in every news outlet in America as they do the Democrats' bidding in trying to undermine and stop the audit.
What is she talking about? Whose names in every media outlet in America?
While at the same time launching a broadside attack against the Arizona Senate, against Arizona voters, against the Republican Party, against individual Arizona legislatures, and basically against anyone who disagrees with them.
Oh, so one way to say it would be to say launching a broadside attack. The other way to say it would be to say they're reporting the news.
CNN, AP, and the Washington Post have yet to retract their false claims about the auditor's findings. All right, the district attorney in Fayette County, Pennsylvania, has started a probe over voting machines rejecting Republican ballots in a recent primary election.
And Democratic ballots. It's just a heavily Republican area, so there's a lot more Republican ballots. There were no barcodes on the ballots. They didn't print properly. So they're counting them by hand, and they're using the machine. There's a touchscreen that you can use if you're disabled and you can't use paper ballots. They're taking the ballots without scan codes, and they're just putting them into the there's a name for it, but the machine for the disabled, that's the machine that they're using, but they have to do it by hand, so it's going to take longer. Republican ballots and some Democratic ballots, because there's a lot more Republicans in Fayette County, Pennsylvania. It's a Republican county. But let's go back and see how they reported that again. What was the wording that they use?
All right, the district attorney in Fayette County, Pennsylvania, has started a probe over voting machines rejecting Republican ballots in a recent primary election.
Oh, a probe. It's a probe. They're already doing it, by the way. Accessible machines. Thank you, Marcy.
According to the county's DA's office on Wednesday, the problems with the voting machines amount to a possible election violation. Now, prosecutors will investigate why the machines were rejecting any ballots at all and why they appeared to target GOP ballots specifically.
They did not. They also targeted Democratic ballots. The ballots were printed without barcodes. A lot of them. And probably in the specific precinct where those ballots were printed improperly from one printer or some sort of computer glitch or whatever it was, probably that's a heavily Republican area. Probably right there next to the insane asylum.
Fayette County election officials have confirmed only Republican ballots were rejected by machines in 77 precincts.
They were not. Democratic ballots were also rejected.
They will now have to count those ballots by hand. All right, let's update you.
All right, well that's that. Let's go find Marjorie Taylor Greene from earlier today. She was on the Caspan, so we'll pull her up. Let's see what this is. Let me get rid of this. We'll make that. Can we make that small? No, we can't. Give me a second here, folks. It's too much technology for me, and it's just not cooperating with me today. We watched this together. We watched President Biden addressing the nation and saying, hey, a ceasefire is coming up. And the ceasefire should already be underway. So I don't know if anyone has heard about it, but there's a ceasefire right now between the Gaza Strip and Israel. House debates. Here we go. Capitol security bill. What else happened today? Hold on. Let's find it. So President Biden signed a COVID-19 anti-Asian hate bill today. And the vast majority of people voted for that bill. But there was Josh Hawley who voted against the, hey, please don't beat up Asians bill. But I want to see Congress. I want to see... There must be some featured clips. Somebody must have cut it out. Oh, here's what we'll watch. There we go. Hold on. House passes bill. That's May 19th. House debates and approves. Here we go. If we can filter this by speakers, we'll go to the interesting ones. All speakers. Zoe Lofgren. Nope. Okay, so that's not something that's going to be interesting to us. But let's listen to Kevin McCarthy answering questions about the January 6th commission. The commission which was voted through the House to investigate January 6th, which is very similar to the bill first proposed by a bipartisan commission way back in January. Right after it happened, they're like, yeah, we got to investigate this. Now they're very upset because it's not investigating Antifa.
Yeah, let's start. Let's guess. What do we have?
So,
about Cuba.
Would you be willing to testify about your conversation with Donald Trump on January 6th?
Hold on. I don't think this is the full thing. Let's see if I can see. That's a clip. I want to see the full thing. User created clip from this video. 2 minutes. Nope. Show me the whole thing. Not created by C-SPAN. I know that. I want to watch the whole. Hold on. Let's go. We'll have to search for Kevin McCarthy specifically. Rick, Steve, McCarthy, and we'll get rid of QAnon. Weekly briefing. Why don't they organize this by date? Please. Hold on. There it is. And let's see if this is the full thing. Yes, it is. Let's watch this.
Happy night. Oh my God.
I do not know why Congress is still wearing masks if they've been vaccinated. There's no reason for it whatsoever. Part of it is that there are members of the Republican caucus who will not tell the folks in charge of the House of Congress if they've been vaccinated or not. I get that, but if you've been vaccinated, those people are of no danger to you. So wearing masks inside the chamber now, as long as everyone's been vaccinated, it's not a problem.
Well, thank you for coming. Today, May 20th, marks Cuban Independence Day, the day that Cuba successfully gained its independence from Spain over a century ago in 1902. This should be a happy occasion.
He represents Bakersfield, California. I'm not sure why he is speaking about Cuban independence, but let's watch.
Sadly, today is a somber reminder that Cuba is not a free country. Its brave people suffer from the ruthless communist regime that strips them of their rights and their self-determination and their future. On this anniversary, we reaffirm our commitment to standing with the people of Cuba and all those who fight for freedom and democracy across the world. At a time when the new socialist Democrats say that socialism is the answer, today reminds us that socialism is incompatible with the true meaning of freedom. Freedom means protecting ourselves, our families, and our communities, not subjecting them to the state.
Well, the military is actually socialism, and okay.
Freedom means practicing free speech and self-determination, not suppressing them with violence. And freedom certainly means pursuing happiness, not stifling it. Americans are blessed.
At random, it would be much easier to make accommodations for anybody who is ineligible for the vaccine than it is to just keep wearing the mask if you've been vaccinated. See, if you've been vaccinated, then you don't have to wear the masks. And again, the goal is to get to herd immunity. You've got to give people a goal and a treat, a reward, unfortunately. That's what they're asking for in order to get vaccinated. There's a small portion of the population that are just like, oh, I hate the vaccine. The New York Times did a study of it. I think it's something like 7% that are just anti-vaccine, anti-COVID. They don't think COVID's a real thing. So you're not going to get to those people no matter what. But there's a whole bunch of people that are sort of vaccine anxious. There's a bunch of people that are just, they want to see what happens. They're just waiting it out. And there's another section of the population who, well, you know, why bother? Why should I have to go through these side effects, all these side effects? By the way, we're all talking about side effects way too much. I know 2 people who had side effects and they were both over very quickly. My side effect, I took a nice nap. I don't even know if that could be counted as a side effect. I counted it as one. But the vast majority of people don't experience any side effect. But there's a good number of the population, especially those that are afraid of needles, and we all know somebody who like that, who won't get the vaccine because they don't want to experience any side effects. And they're just figuring like, yeah, I'll see what happens. Maybe it'll go away. The numbers are all getting lower. So you need an incentive to have those people, because here's the deal. A lot of people out there don't like to lie. They just don't. They feel badly about lying. They're not bad people. They're not evil. They just haven't had the vaccine yet. Haven't had a chance. They don't want to miss out on work. They don't want to be sick for 3 days, which is what people are saying is happening. I know. I count a nap as a fringe benefit. Super producer Debbie is absolutely right. There you go. Oh, so that's right. People that I know personally in my life around here. But yes, Bridget did have some pretty bad side effects, but then now she's fine. No, it doesn't. At random, it has nothing to do with the local infection rate. It doesn't. If you're vaccinated, you do not need a mask. If you are immunocompromised, you should be taking precautions to begin with. And you are used to that, and you always are. Are we sacrificing the immunocompromised? Yes, we always sacrifice the immunocompromised. That's the way it works. But why are we sacrificing the immunocompromised? To try and get to herd immunity so that none of it matters anymore. So, I would ask those of you, my immunocompromised brothers and sisters, to stick it out just a little bit longer. But that's what it's going to come down to. This is one strategy for getting there. Will it work? I don't know. We could already be at the tipping point of herd immunity and just not realize it yet because the effects haven't been felt. All across the country, the virus is plummeting. Hospitalizations are plummeting. What we should be hearing more of is not wear your mask, don't wear your mask. What we should be hearing more of is nobody who got vaccinated is in the hospital. Nobody who got vaccinated died this week in Montana or in Texas or wherever. Nobody died in Texas yesterday or the day before. If you want to wear your mask, wear your mask. It's not hurting anyone, and it's a good idea anyway. It's a prophylactic against a whole bunch of other diseases you don't want. But wearing it inside in the halls of Congress, in the chamber itself, doesn't make any sense if you've been vaccinated. And by the way, those people who are just going to lie about getting vaccinated and wear the mask, they're just not going to wear the mask anyway. Like, you're not going to prevent that from happening.
To enjoy these freedoms in our...
Hold on, producer Joanna says no one's at the car wash. I will see you guys later. Enjoy your evening, everybody.
nations, but sadly, Cubans cannot in theirs. That's because socialism never practiced what it preaches. That is why I'm alarmed when Democrats use socialist...
We all stumble over our words from time to time, but Kevin McCarthy just uses words that don't belong where they are.
...rhetoric and push socialist policies. Democrats want to control what we read, what we teach our children, and deny our history. Democrats want to censure free speech and...
The whole deny our history, Democrats want to expand our knowledge of history. They want to include things like the slavery issue that we had in our country for a very short period of time. And I know it's part of our heritage, so it's okay, according to the Republicans. They want to highlight moments in Black history. They want to highlight the massacres that we didn't hear about until very recently when it was on Watchmen. The Tulsa Massacre. But yeah.
Strict debate through political correctness. And Democrats want to redistribute taxpayers' hard-earned money from those who work to those who choose not to.
No, that is not what Democrats want. That,
my friends, is the road to serfdom.
Serfdom? Now they're going to serfdom? It's the federal system, not the feudal system. From now, okay, if we get to the point where we have to address Biden as my lord, there might be an issue. Serfdom? What the hell is happening?
Fact is, socialism policies have never worked, and they do not work.
Here's the deal. The Democrats can't want to give money to the people who don't want to work and also want serfdom. See, the whole thing that makes the serfdom work are the serfs. He has no idea what serfdom is. The Democrats want to give money to the serfs for refusing to serf. Well, serf that.
They will never work as long as we have those who are willing to defend her. And the Republican Party always will.
Yeah.
America will never be a socialist country.
I
stand
already
before you,
yeah,
proud to take part in recognizing Cuban Independence Day and in solidarity for a free and democratic Cuba. I feel especially honored to be joined by those members of Congress to celebrate freedom and denounce socialism.
Look at all the Cubans standing behind him.
They and their families directly understand
Their what? Their families?
In democratic Cuba. I feel especially honored to be joined by those members of Congress to celebrate freedom and denounce socialism. They and their families directly understand...
Families. They're families. They may be Cubans. I don't know.
...the meaning behind President Reagan's famous words. Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. They and their families know the struggle because they are all
Families. They're families, Kevin.
Cuban Americans who in one way or another have borne witness to the brutality of
Did he say expressly?
communism. And now I invite them to share their thoughts on this day, starting with my friend, Congressman Mario Diaz-Balart from Florida.
Yeah. There you go. Cuban.
Thank you. To Cuba, pre-socialismo a los Estados Unidos.
Because we once again want to see a free Cuba. Viva Cuba Libre is something that we say and we pray for. I am the daughter of Maduro. Thank you very much for coming here. And people who are American born should take the opportunity
Of how things could be better. Esa tierra.
We hear. And reality is that it's a fallacy.
Think about what happened in Cuba and
Realidad celebrando una libertad que no ha llegado. A mis hermanos.
what has gone on. We can never allow that to happen into America. Questions, comments? Listen to the debate and the
His first sentence that he wasn't reading. We can never allow that to happen into America. What?
House on this new majority of the Socialist Democrats. You begin
And take individual independent bites. I'm sure that we'll hear. And once again, thank you, Speaker. I mean, thank you, Leader. Yeah, you're right.
Thank you all very much. We understand many people when they sit back and think about what happened in Cuba and Venezuela, they think it can never happen here. But when you listen to the debate in the House on this new majority of the Socialist Democrats, you begin to wonder. And that's why it's so important with those behind me, not only for themselves personally, but their own family have witnessed what has gone on. We can never allow that to happen into America. Questions?
We can never allow that to happen into America. Questions? Yeah, what does that mean?
Comments?
Mr. Leader.
Yeah, let's start. Let's
Comments?
guess. What do we have?
So,
About Cuba.
Would you be willing to testify about your conversation with Donald Trump on January 6th if you were asked by an outside commission?
Sure.
You
Next
would.
question.
Were you surprised to see 35 Republicans vote for the commission? And how do you
No, not at all. I thought it would probably be higher. But this Pelosi commission that we tried to work on for quite some time. Remember, I asked Pelosi for one on January 13th. She spent 4 months just playing politics with it. In that time period, an officer got killed on Good Friday just across with this Capitol. She didn't want to have the scope to do that as well.
The officer who got killed on Good Friday had absolutely nothing to do with the... They could have agreed to this months ago. This has been proposed. Kevin still hasn't agreed to it. The officer who got killed had no connection whatsoever upon an appointment of an independent counsel and or investigatory group. They're two unrelated things. But the way he says it makes it sound like Nancy Pelosi is somehow responsible because she made it a political process for the officer getting killed. Wow.
I just felt we're going to have 4 things happening right now. You've got 2 committees in the Senate already doing their investigation. I believe in 2 weeks they'll already have their report back.
They're complaining, they're saying that we don't need the investigation because there's already so much happening. Already so many investigations. You know, like the 10 investigations of Benghazi. 10.
All this time. You got the architect of the Capitol given $10 million to study what we need done here to protect it. And then you got the Justice Department, rightfully does a much better job than we could ever do. Arrested already 445 people. Probably more, another 100 coming. That's the type of work we want to make sure done, that it never happens again, that those who participated and caused it should be held accountable, and that we secure this Capitol and we don't
That's C-SPAN pausing, not me.
play politics with it. I just think a Pelosi commission is a lot of politics. Yes.
What in the language of the bill limits the scope of the commission? It says it can look at any
No, it doesn't say any.
It does.
No,
It
it
says influencing factors.
It does. It actually does.
No.
Influencing factors. If something relevant, that would be an influencing factor potentially.
I have a difference of opinion here than our legal counsel does too. So I gave language to Speaker Pelosi. I sent her 2 different letters. She never would communicate at all in that process. I think the scope needs to be expanded. If you look at the 9/11 Commission, we looked at what happened on 9/11 and what the buildup for that was.
And for some reason, he thinks the
I think
buildup
that would be important
of
here as
George
well.
Floyd getting killed and people protesting that, he thinks that was the buildup for January 6th. The buildup for January 6th, which will be explored by the commission, if approved in the Senate, which it won't be, would be examining the election and Donald Trump's verbiage moving up to the election.
Yes.
Do you think it's a conflict of interest for members to be voting on a commission that they might have to potentially be witnesses for and provide information on?
No, because who knows what they're going to do on the commission. So, no, I don't think so.
Absolutely certain that none of your members were in any communication with any of the people who stormed Capitol Hill?
But thank you for the question. Everybody have a nice day on the commission. So, no, I don't think so.
Absolutely certain that none of your members were in any communication with any of the people who stormed Capitol Hill?
But thank you for the question. Everybody.
I'm not sure what he said, but he said thank you for the question. The question was, are you absolutely certain that none of your members were in communication with anybody involved in the riots? And he is leaving. So that's what we got going on there. Again, I apologize. We weren't able to do the Trump thing. We will do that tomorrow. I will try my damnedest to tape it. I'm going to do some testing, reset the computer, etc., to make sure that it's working properly. I just subscribed to OAN today, so it's not without its kinks. We will make that work, and we will see you guys tomorrow. So have yourself a great night. Here's some closing credits for you.
Pick your date and time, and a local Redfin agent will help you find...
Kevin, thanks for that.
The one.
Let's do this. On-demand home tours from Redfin. That's real estate done right. Let's do this.
Soon,
Ooh.